It is a privilege to be joined on the summit today by Coach Travis Scott, who is in his 22nd season now at the helm of the softball program at Angelo State University. Coach, 9-1 to start the season. Let's start right there. Year 22 for year in 2025, and a good start to the season as well. 9-1. You go 4-1 in the McCorkle Classic there at Meyer Field, your home field, to get things going, including a 5-3 victory over A&M International on Sunday. Tell us a little bit about the start to your season.
Well, we had a really good start. You go back the prior week with the tournament at Conroe. We had really good competition there. Opened up the season against Regis out of Colorado, who was a regional tournament team last year. And our Cheyenne Floyd, our returning All-American, she set the tone pretty quickly for how that weekend was going to go. She struck out the first 13 batters that she faced, and we were able to rule them 8-0. So it was a phenomenal way to start. And then we followed that up with Pittsburgh State, who was 53-9 last year, a super regional team, and went out and beat them 5-0. So that was a huge win for, our other pitchers to be able to shut them out. And then we just continued to play extremely well. We only gave up 2 runs that entire tournament, playing good competition, came home 5-0. And then, was excited to be able to host here at home again. We've been hosting now for about 20 years in this Georgia Nolan McCorkle Challenge. And we had amazing weather. It was 86 degrees on Friday and 88 on Saturday. So to be February the 5th and the 6th or whatever, 7th and 8th, it was amazing. A little colder on Sunday, but, not unbearable. And we played well. We didn't swing the bats the way that we did the prior week, but we pitched it extremely well again. Missouri Western came down, and they were at the tournament last weekend, and they had a rough weekend last weekend, but you could tell that they had some talent, and they got a new coach, and Coach Thompson's done a good job. She was at Regis last year, and she had them prepared. They played really well. They've got a fifth-year senior pitcher that she's going to be really good for them. She's been good for them the past couple of years, and her and Cheyenne Floyd had a classic pitching duel. They each allowed 2 hits through the entire game. And unfortunately, Cheyenne led off the game with a 4-pitch walk, and they were able to steal second and get a 2-out base hit to score. And that was it. And they beat us 1-0, but they played great defense. We did hit some balls hard. Their center fielder went and made some plays, and then they ended the game with a great double play up the middle. So they earned that win, but it's like I told my team, I said, I hate losing as much as anybody and all that, but if you're going to lose, would be the way to do it, because we didn't just give it away. They made a few more plays, and it was a great softball game, especially to be played the way it was early in the year. But yeah, we've got a good group. We have 10 seniors, a lot of upperclassmen. So we're excited about the season. We're off to a good start, like you said, at 9-1. And now we start conference play, and, everybody knows that knows around here, the Lone Star Conference is probably the toughest Division II softball conference in the country, but the strength up and down. But hopefully we finished third in the conference last year. Hopefully we can do that, or even 2-up it and try to win the championship this year. But it's going to be a challenge, and we got to continue to play great.
Yeah, why not? Well, I know, Coach, that you're always expecting to win and always expecting to be up there at the top. It is a challenge week in and week out. So good luck to that. We'll talk a little bit more about the Lone Star Conference here in just a moment. 981 wins, 981, 364-3 over the course of your career, Coach. A fantastic career, and closing in on that 1,000 win mark. What a number. What an absolutely incredible number. I know you're aware of it, but what does a number like that mean?
It does mean a lot, and I am aware of it. You'll have a lot of people say, "Oh, I do." I know, and the NFCA they kind of remind you every time you hit that milestone. So they send you something. So I remember 900, and it's special. I'll tell you what. What's special about it is it's all been in the Lone Star Conference. Going back to my career starting at Southeastern Oklahoma, coached there for 3 years when they were in the Lone Star. We still had the Lone Star North and the Lone Star South, and I think in that 3-year span I had 101 wins there, and then made the move down here, and it's just been an awesome place to coach. It's just we've got great people in San Angelo. we've continued to work on our facility. Now we got one of the top facilities in the country, and it's been a special place. Was able to win a national championship here. I've been fortunate enough to coach in 6 World Series. Was a national runner-up in 2017. So it's just been a special place for me. And, that 1,000 mark, what I'm really proud of is 1,000 in the Lone Star Conference, every one of them. Technically there was 150 something wins at Lone Grove High School. Yeah. And I've talked to the people at the NFCA, and whenever I get to this 1,000 mark, all college, then I want to add on that, high school, because it is, a career record. But it's just, I've been blessed to be able to do what I do. I still love it. I still love game day. I still, enjoy going to practice. I get tired of the recruiting and all that sometimes, yes, but that competitive side in me still comes out, and I just really enjoy going out and watching these girls battle and compete and find ways to overcome adversity and win games.
Well, it takes a lot to get to that point, and averaging better than 46 wins per season through 22 now, or 21 previous years. We'll talk about that. I know this season's not over. 46 wins per season. That number would actually be higher, I believe, if it wasn't for 2020 and the COVID year strikes again. So drops the average just slightly, but really, who's counting at this point in time? Well, maybe you are. That could be the case. But to have that kind of success, though, it's got to take consistency and culture and other things. Talk a little bit about what goes into the consistency of getting that many wins per year.
Well, obviously, trying to set a standard, and we talk about a championship standard and just how they represent themselves on a daily basis. It's not just about what happens on the softball field. It's about how they, wake up every morning and how they get dressed and present themselves in the classroom, and, with professors and with their peers. And, we just want them to take pride in who they are as an individual. And, not that they have to be cookie cutters, but, they need to take pride in who they are and the family that they came from. And then, yes, you're always representing, the university in our program. And I tell you, I'm extremely blessed right now. We've got an amazing group of people on this softball team right now. It is phenomenal just to watch them grow. And there are a lot of kids that are faith-based, and to watch them and their spirituality, and they're not afraid to talk about it. They're not afraid to present it to people. And I know, last year, 8 of them got saved or got baptized. Got baptized the first week of school. So I know there's been a couple others since then. So it's really been, they've blessed our lives. My coach with my wife, she's my associate head coach. So it's been pretty cool just to sit back and just watch them grow as individuals and grow as people. And they're going to be successful. When their college career is over, they're going to be successful in life.
That is absolutely fantastic to hear, Coach. I appreciate that. We're visiting now with Coach Travis Scott, the head softball coach at Angelo State University here on Midwest Sportsnet. And I encourage you, please like the video and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. We enjoy talking about small college sports and more throughout the Midwest and beyond. I talk about Coach Scott, who, again, a national champion as a coach, a national runner-up, numerous trips to the World Series, 6 in fact, numerous trips to the NCAA tournament, and someone with whom I actually went to school with a little more than 40 years ago. Now, Coach, one of those, all of those stats are true. Ago? Oh, man. 40, I know. All of those stats are true. One of those stats is not like the others, so just take that for what it is. But yeah, it's been a while, but man, I appreciate it. You honestly, I don't think you look a day older. Absolutely.
Well, so thank you, and you still killing it also.
Well, let's talk about this season first, and then let's go back through a little bit more before we wrap up here. And I appreciate your time. You talked about Cheyenne Floyd, and one of a few pitchers that are seniors in the circle for you, and you got a couple of freshmen as well. So it looks like that the future is now, but also you have some consistency there with some upperclassmen in the circle. And Leilana Applin, who has played 9 of the 10 games for you this season, just fantastic numbers, hitting better than 480 right now, and slugging percentage of better than 1,000 with 14 RBI and just 9 games played. So It looks like this year's team, as you were mentioning, seems to be taking care of business, really offense and defense as well.
Yeah, Leilana, she had a great weekend, opening weekend in Houston, and I think she had 3 home runs, 3 triples maybe, or 2 triples. I think she had 8 extra base hits. She had 10 hits, 8 of them were extra base hits, and that's just that's a phenomenal way to start the season. She led the country after that first weekend with 14 RBIs. Struggled just a little bit this past weekend, and had an injury in the 4th game of the tournament and didn't get to play yesterday. So hopefully we can get her back this weekend. But we're going to miss her a little bit with she had to get some stitches. So technically can't really talk about injuries much, but publicly. But she's going to be. We're going to miss her just a little bit, but it's not going to be long term, thankfully. But she's a talented kid. She played center field for us last year, played a little bit of first base. She was a high school shortstop. She wasn't quite ready to be a college shortstop, in our opinion, last year. So we tried to bounce her around this year. She was ready and is taking over that shortstop spot for us. So not only is she, one of your better hitters and power hitters, she's also your shortstop. So, her and Tatiana Trotter in the middle of the lineup is a good 1-2 combo for sure. Tatiana's off to a good start as well, hitting over, I think, 360 something. Hit her first home run yesterday, and she's now taking over that center field spot. And so, we're blessed with Tatiana being a junior and Leilana only being a sophomore. Mm-hmm. So, looking forward to their future, but they're really they're the core of our offense for sure.
Well, Coach, then you look back and over the course of 22 years, I know there are many names, many faces, bats like that from Morgan Spearman, Courtney Barnhill, Brandy Marlett in the circle as well, and a number of players like that. Looking back over the years, I'm not putting you out to pasture just yet, I promise. But still, you know. There are a lot of games in that amount of time. Talk about that. Does that come up? Do you think about these things often? I know you're focused from day to day, but when off season and things like that, do you look back and go, this has been pretty fun?
Oh yeah, definitely. And we try to host an alumni game here every year in the fall, and we may have anywhere from 20 to some years not quite as much. Depends on the couple of years ago when the economy really got tough and everything. We had a small number, but I think we had about 19 of them this past year. So that's when a lot of the memories start coming back. They start telling stories, and you see the faces, and you relive the big moments, the big hits and all that. But that's always a great time. And I appreciate every one of our alumni. They've built this foundation and continued on the success that the older ones saying that. So the older ones started here at Angelo State, and going back to the 2004 group that won the national championship. And it's just it's been really cool to really watch them also post career, and follow as much as I can their lives. And it's pretty cool around Christmas time when some Christmas cards come flowing in and all that to see the family photos and those kind of things. So, it's, sports is all I've ever known. My stepdad was a coach. My uncle was a successful coach at Long Grove High School as a basketball coach. And my older brother was a big influence. He's a sports addict as well. And it's what we've always done as a family. And, my oldest son, he's been coaching here for a while. And so it's just one of those things that it's just in the blood, and mm-hmm. It's, you find something that you love. And luckily I've been able to follow my passion, and, was able to play for Coach Matheny at Southeastern Oklahoma, the legend there in D2 baseball, and learned so much from him. And even going back to Roger Bird in high school and at Ardmore, and, Coach Thompson, Coach Crayball, Denny Crayball, who just passed away at Oklahoma City University baseball coach for a long time. He was actually my freshman year at Ardmore. He was one of our assistant coaches. So, mm-hmm. I really enjoyed getting to know him, and he taught us so much as young students how to go out and approach the game and appreciate the game. So, I've been blessed with, family members and coaches that I've played with over the years, and just kind of took bits and pieces of all of it probably, and then threw in some of my own stuff, and have found a way to relay that to other individuals and teach the game to them, and the little small details of the game, intricacies, and it's been a lot of fun. I don't. Everybody asks me all the time, "When are you going to retire? When are you going to retire?" And I'm like, I don't play golf. I don't play tennis. I don't know. So I don't know what else to do. I guess I could drive a bus or umpire, and I don't want to do that. I'd rather do this. So it's still something that I'm sure that day will come, but it's not in my near future. I can put it that way.
I would be surprised if you didn't have another 22 years.
Ooh,
and
22.
I'm sure that they would have you right there. Well, I know I know what that number means, but I can see you doing it for a long time, Coach. Let me ask you this then. You talked about the Lone Star Conference. Conference schedule gets underway this weekend. As a matter of fact, it starts in the Lone Star Conference. You get a couple of doubleheaders at home. Oklahoma Christian on Friday and Cameron on Sunday. Can you give us just a preview of what this weekend's going to look like?
Yeah, we get thrown to the fire real quick, with Oklahoma Christian and their two returning pitchers, Grace Anderson and Jill Dixon. And, they've been really good in this league for a couple of years now. And so we got our work cut out. I think they're 7-1. I just got there looking at their stats, and they're 7-1. So they're off to a really good start. We're 9-1. So it'll probably be the premier matchup, looking at the schedule for this weekend in the conference. And then Cameron comes in. They got a new coach. So we don't really know a whole lot about Cameron. They didn't play the first weekend. They did play some this weekend. So, I don't know. We don't know exactly what to expect with them, but we do know what to expect with Oklahoma Christian. Now, they are offensively a brand new team almost. They graduated nearly every starter last year offensively, but we know we're going to have to pitch and play well, because they're not going to allow a lot of runs, and it's going to be another, luckily we just got through going through it 3 times or 4 times this weekend with really close games, low scoring games. And it's going to be that way again, I would assume, this weekend. And then it doesn't get any easier. We have to go to Texas Women's and UT Tyler next week.
Yeah.
UT Tyler, #1 team in the country, and Texas Women's look really good in opening weekend in Conroe. So they're a much better team than they have been the past few years. So yeah, it's throw it to the fire real quick here in the Lone Star.
Schedule makers want to make it challenging for you to get things started in league play. So they've done their job. Coach Travis Scott, who is the head softball coach at Angelo State, 981 wins right now. And Coach, there is no doubt in my mind that you're going to hit that 1,000-win mark this season, and we will be following you along. I would say this on the record, off the record, I've been following your career for many, many years. Like I said, someone with whom I had gone to school so long ago. I have the utmost respect for you as an athlete, just watching you play and seeing what you did, on the field, the diamond, and you name it. But as a coach as well, you've done a fantastic job, and we will definitely be following the Rambelles this year to see you hit that 1,000 win mark, but beyond. Thank you so much for taking time with us today here on the Summit.
Well, thank you, Joey, for those words. That's really, really nice to hear. And before we got on, I was asking you you got your hand in a little bit of everything too. So, I'm glad that you are also having a lot of success, and it's always good to see an old friend.